What's up, dude? Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it is really cold and dreary outside today, unfortunately. So I don't have real nice lighting in my room right now. I have a west facing window, so I get a lot of really nice looking afternoon sun, but today we just don't have that, so it's a little bit drearier in my room today. Let's see, I don't think I have anything else really to talk about other than I've been watching Stranger Things. I'm on season 2, and I really don't like the plot where 11 and 8 meet. I don't know. I just don't vibe with it. I'm glad she's going home finally. But I think that's all that I really have to say. So let's just jump right into today's case. Today we are going to be talking about Keith Hunter Jesperson, which weirdly enough, Jesperson was my orthodontist who put on my braces. His last name is Jesperson too, so I thought that was kind of funny. But he goes by the Happy Face Killer, and at the end you will see why he gets that nickname. Keith was born April 6th, 1955 to Les, his dad, and Gladys Jesperson in Chilliwack, British Columbia, Canada. He was the middle child with 2 brothers and 2 sisters. Les, his father, was a domineering alcoholic, and according to Keith, his paternal grandfather was prone to violence. Keith's dad denied being abusive. However, while investigating for his book on the killer, author Jack Olson was able to confirm much of the claimed abuse with other family members. So because he was a larger kid for his age, Keith, he was often teased by other kids as well as family members. His brothers used to call him Igor, which is just awful. They wouldn't stick up for him. They would just kind of join in on the teasing, which is very unfortunate. Keith was a loner who had a tendency to torture and kill animals. The family moved to Selah, Washington, where he remained to be a shy child, kind of an outcast. His violent behavior at school caused him to be severely punished by his dad, sometimes with a belt in front of other people, or in one case, an electric shock. That's very extreme, I think. Being punished, like spanked and stuff, is, you know, I mean, like, that's one thing, but having it done in front of people is very humiliating. He was 5 when he began capturing and torturing animals, which is also a hobby that Jeffrey Dahmer had as well, and you do see that. It's very common in serial killers that at an early age they begin torturing and killing animals. It's just sort of a trait that people have noticed. He attempted to kill his friend Martin at the age of 10 when he got tired of taking the blame for things that Martin did, although the 2 boys did often get into trouble together. So he would get in trouble for not only what he did, but then occasionally he would get blamed for stuff that Martin did. 1 year later, Keith was swimming in a lake with another boy when he held him under the water until he blacked out. So that was Keith's second attempted murder. He also tried to drown another boy at a public pool sometime later. He graduated high school in 1973, and at 20 he married Rose Huck and had 3 children with her, 2 daughters and 1 son. He was working as a truck driver to support the family, and after being married for years, Rose suspected him of having affairs when strange women would call. After 14 years together, Rose would pack up the kids and move them 200 miles to Spokane, Washington to live with her parents. Rose and Keith ended up divorcing in 1990, and when he was 35 years old and standing 6 feet 7 inches tall and weighing 255 pounds, so he was a big guy, Keith decided to try and join the Royal Canadian Police, but was injured while training and had to quit trying to join. After going back to trucking and moving to Cheney, Washington, Keith realized that his job allowed him the opportunity to kill without being suspected. His first known victim was Tanya Bennett on January 21st, 1990, near Portland, Oregon. Keith introduced himself to Tanya at a bar and invited her to a house that he had been renting. They got into an argument and he strangled her to death with his hands. After Tanya, he killed 4 more women. He was finally arrested March 30th, 1990 for the murder of Julie Winningham. Police had questioned him a week beforehand, but they didn't have any grounds to arrest him because he refused to talk. Keith attempted suicide twice after realizing that he was more than likely going to be arrested, thinking that it would result in leniency during his sentencing. While in custody, he started revealing details of his killings and making claims of many others, which he later took back. Also, that tends to be sort of an ego thing with serial killers. When they're heavily reported on, they'll start just like taking credit for crimes that they didn't commit just to keep their name in the news. And like I said, it's more of an ego thing than anything else. They just like that people are talking about them. And I guess if he was a shy kid and kind of an outcast, maybe he liked that people were giving him the attention that he never really got. After his arrest, he wrote a letter to his brother where he confessed to killing 8 people over the course of 5 years. Police agencies in several states reopened old cases and found that many of them were possible victims of Keith. He had claimed to kill as many as 185 people, but only 8 women in Washington, Oregon, California, Florida, Nebraska, and Wyoming have been confirmed. So again, could just be taking credit for crimes that he never actually committed. Keith is currently serving 3 consecutive life sentences in the Oregon State Pen in Salem. However, in January 2010, he was convicted of another murder and received a 4th life sentence. So, I mean, it seems like a very cut and dry type of case. You know, serial killer, killed a lot of people, but eventually did get caught. But that's not the craziest part of this story. Early on in the investigation of Tanya, Laverne Pavlinac reads the news reports surrounding Tanya's death and saw it as an opportunity to force an end to the long-term abusive relationship she had been in with her live-in boyfriend, John Sosnowiecki. I know I'm saying that wrong. Laverne set up a meeting with investigators and gave a false confession using details that she had learned from the newspaper. She told police that John had forced her to help him rape, murder, and dispose of Tanya's body. Laverne and John were both arrested March 5th, 1990, and convicted of the murder on February 8th, 1991. Laverne had told police, "I said, why is she dead?" Pavlinac told investigators during her last recorded statement on February 26th, 1990, he, John, says because I choked her. I said, I think we need to take her to a hospital. We need to report this, John. He said, no, I'll go to the pen. I'll go to death row. That's what she claims happened. To avoid the death penalty, John pleaded no contest. He got life in prison while Laverne was sentenced to no less than 10 years, which was more than she thought she'd get. She quickly admitted that she made the whole story up, but her claims were ignored. More than 5 years after their conviction on January 7th, 1996, Laverne and John were released from prison when Keith's attorney offered his confession with convincing evidence of his guilt. How Keith got the nickname the Happy Face Killer is following Tanya's murder. As the attention was going to Laverne and John, Jesperson wrote a confession on the bathroom wall of a truck stop and signed it with a smiley face. When that did not create the attention he desired, so there you go, looking for attention. He wrote letters to media outlets and police departments confessing to his murders, starting with a 6-page letter to the Oregonian, in which he revealed the details of his killings. Jesperson signed each letter with a smiley face. This led Phil Stanford, the journalist working on the story for the Oregonian, to dub Jesperson the Happy Face Killer. So, I hate to say that it's not an interesting case because it really is, but what really makes it interesting is that Laverne admitted to murders that she clearly did not commit just to get out of an abusive relationship, which her daughter has gone on to say that she just thought her mom was really desperate and wanted to get away from John, which I understand, but I feel like if you're going to police to commit, which I feel like if you're already planning on going to the police to confess to a murder that you never committed, why not just go to police and try and tell them that you have an abusive boyfriend? I know that police don't always take that sort of thing seriously, and there are so many cases where abuse has been reported and police don't do anything, but like, girl, you were already going to the police. It was worth a shot, you know? But also on the flip side, it's like, again, I totally get why she didn't. So I don't know. I thought this case was really interesting. If you guys liked it, please give it a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel because I will be posting at least 4 crime videos a week. Sorry, I played Bakery Story and it was just going off. But like I said, I'll be posting like at least 4 crime videos a week is my plan as of now. So if you guys have any that you want me to cover and do some research on, definitely comment them down below. But that is it for me for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Bye guys.